We finally made it. It's only a week late, but we're here for the Cheltenham Festival review. Probably one of the most craziest Cheltenham festivals we have ever witnessed in our short lifetime, to be fair. No Dave today, he's working, but he'll be back next week for our entry preview. But Sean and Tom are back as always. Tom, Cheltenham, sum it up in 2 words.
Fantastically crazy.
I like it. Sean, same.
2 words that Tom hasn't used. Unpredictably good.
I'm gonna go.
That's good, Sean. That's better than mine.
I'm gonna go with fucking crazy. But you know what? A lot of people are giving out about it, but I loved every minute of it because you could not predict what was going to happen next. I know some of the results we wanted didn't happen, but it just goes to show to not avoid one horse on one day. And now, I'm going to say now it might resonate with some trainers now to stop avoiding horses, but it's not really. But anyway, Nicky was meant to send Con Hill to Punchestown, and all of a sudden he's not. Shock. Right, we are going to rattle through it. I say rattle through it. There'll be races where we do bang on, but we're going to go through the main races, the grade ones, and at the end of it, we'll give maybe a horse or two to take out of it, and so on. Right, so Tom, we start with you with the Michael O'Sullivan's Pretty Novice Hurdle. Kopek the boards got us off to a flying start, and we thought it was going to be that kind of festival where all fancy horses were going to go in. William Money ran a very good race in second. Romeo Pulley third, Carnegie fourth, and so on. Kopek Ward, good performance. I think he's given the same rate as the New Lion. Some people would argue with that, but good start to the festival, and didn't go great after that.
Yeah, it was good. And you know, Kopek himself was good. I'm just looking. He beat Carnegie 13 lengths in Leopardstown. He beat him 11 lengths here. I think he could get better than this. I think Ruby was kind of saying the same thing. He was good, but he didn't blow us away like most expected that he could. I thought William Money ran a hell of a race. I had a match bet with Dave, which was over about 5 out. Work ahead ran like there was an issue somewhere. He ran too bad to be true. But yeah, William Money ran very well. He's clearly improving and learning to race with each run. And I think he's one going forward. They're talking about the Arkle for him, and I wouldn't knock it. But yeah, Kopek, look, very, very exciting. Be interesting. He looks like a chaser. I imagine they'll go chasing next year. And then Romeo Pulley, I think he might want a bit further. I also think Carnegie is going to be a nice horse in time. I think he just needs a little bit more time. But I think it was a pretty good Supreme.
Sean, what do you make of the start of the Cheltenham Festival?
Yeah, look, I think something that's worth touching on is the ground. A couple of Cheltenham festivals we've gone by have been ran on deep ground, and I think this is the quickest surface that any horse has met, I'd say, this season.
In other words, we just say it, the groundsman made an absolute balls of the festival.
Yeah, he didn't. Look, I don't think it... look, I'm all for good to soft, but I'd say it was definitely down on the good side rather than near the soft. But my heart goes out to them because I think as a groundsman, your job's impossible with some of these things. Because I wouldn't trust the weather forecast as far as you can throw it. And if you water the ground and rain comes, then you're the worst man in the world. And if you don't, I just don't think there's any winning. But just to say, I think maybe perhaps towards the winner, I'd say it was probably on the quick side for him, and I think a bit softer ground might have seen that distance stretched out a little bit. I thought he travelled around beautifully. All the antics about pre-race, possibly. It's gas. You watch him in the pre-parade ring, he's walking around like a lamb with a hood on, and all them problems automatically disappeared. So maybe the Leopardstown was the first time they properly revved him up for a race, and he knew what he was there to do, and now he's learned the whole time. But to win a Supreme on your fourth start, unbeaten, the second grade one, I just think stands to this horse so much. I think the winning distance would have been more if he didn't make a mess at the last. But he made a mess at the last and he dug in, and I thought he was only going away at the line. I wouldn't be surprised over time if we seen him go up and trip. I don't think it'll be next season, as you'll just go down the Arkle route with him. But he went out through that line, and I thought maybe perhaps he could be going up and tripping time, and he might be afraid of. But I thought it was straightforward as you'd liked. He was in the box seat, tracked leaders, took her up, and sort of went away. We made the mistake. I thought he would have won by a little bit further. But I 100% agree. I thought William Money ran very, very well to come second in that race.
Yeah, I think the top 4 are very good horses going forward. Like Copic de Boers, we all know how good he's going to be and is right now. As you said, like he would have won by a lot further if he didn't make balls at the last. But still went on and beat William Money. William Money's had their. I'm at to change my opinion on him now on the back of that. That was a very polished professional performance, and he's one that is going to get better as time goes on. He's one definitely to keep on the right side next season. Romeo Colio, I think, step up and trip is what he's crying out for now. He's a very good horse. I think he'll always go underestimate in Carnegie. Look, everyone knows what I think of him. I think he's going to be a smashing horse going forward. Look, it's a very good race. Very good horse is going to come out, and I think it's one to keep an eye on next season. Right, swiftly on to the Arkle. And this is where everything started to go to pot, really. In the space of 50 yards before the finish line, we had 4 different winners. And then by the time we hit the line, we had our 5th one. Django Bay came from the clouds. How we won this, I don't know. I watched it back so many times. And in fairness now, Nico bided his time. He was caught in behind and tried to go at the pace and dropped off in the end, and then came home really, really strong at the line. Only by night was unlucky. Calvin Cromwell nearly pulled off the genius stroke of avoiding the mare chase and coming here. Malsbar, to me, like his last 2 jumps, first one I would put down to Jock Yarra. I thought he should have forced him at the fence. It was very much him sitting up on top of him and trying to leave him make up his own mind, where I thought he could have just rode him into it and thrown him at it. And then his confidence hung on to last. There's nothing he could do about that one. Sean, we'll go back to you. What do you make of it? First off, in the way it was ran, it was a weird run race in regards to the way Malsbar made a few mistakes and they all fell back into it. And Django Bay was flying home at the end.
Yeah, it gave me champ vibes back in the RSA when Allaho, Manila, Indo were fucking kicking clear at the last. I tell you that. But I don't know. This Malsbar, right? I was willing to forgive him at Leopardstown, and I just thought it reminds me of an El Fabiolo, except he is hitting fences. It just reminds me of a horse that, and I don't know if time he's going to improve.
Oh, sorry, Sean. Tom, look at the comments for 2 seconds. I have to put this up. I have to. This is brilliant.
Good, buddy.
Sorry, Sean. Carry on.
No worries. He just strikes me as a horse. I don't know if he's going to learn. I really, really don't. He's doing the same errors. I get your point. I did initially think that Mark Walsh might have sent him at the second last, but then I think he was there to be jumped. Like, I don't think he ran out of the wrong stride, and he could have came up if he was good enough, and he didn't.
I think it was a whole point of you're there to make the horse's mind up for him. Don't even second guess. It's there to be jumped. As you said, he wasn't on the wrong stride. He had the stride and just sat there, let him go into it. Well, obviously, he was on the best horse in the race, and he probably thought, I popped this now, I'll go on, which is fair enough. But in the battle of the last 2 offences, you have to go for it.
Yeah, that's. I did think that in the moment. I won't lie to you. I thought you might have pressed the button on him, but maybe the mistake I far out was in the back of his mind, and he maybe just didn't want to touch that button. But look, his engine must be unbelievable, because he roundhoused the second last, he walked through the last, and he's still there with 100 yards to go, and you're saying to yourself, is he going to get back up? Like, he somehow managed to close down that gap. Now, I don't know if that says much for the rest of the fact that he was able to make 2 Horlicks mistakes and still be in the mix at the last. Like, there's no doubt he's the best horse in the field, but if he doesn't get that jumping right, he's not going to go anywhere. And one thing I would say, he had a growler there. I would be very fearful of going near him. Well, obviously, you're going to have your queries in anyways because he made mistakes, but if he was going off a short price at Punchestown or something like that, I'd be very, very wary of him.
Tom, what do you make of it all?
Yeah, I think this is where the madness started, isn't it? You know, you got the Fav goes in the first, everyone's nice and settled, and then Django Bay, I don't know what he traded at least 300, I think I saw somewhere. But yeah, fair play to him. He looked well out of it. He looked well outpaced for a long time there, and he did very, very well to stay on. Only by night ran an absolute blinder. Gavin had a fantastic week overall. Only by night, like very, very unlucky not to win that. Majborough, I think there's lessons. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in this at this Cheltenham Festival. One of them is if you ever listen to a piece of software that tells you that a horse can jump and don't
you literally took the words out of my mouth.
Like, for fuck's sake, you've got lads there going, "Oh, he actually jumps really, really well," as you watch him smash fences at Leopardstown, and you're like, Oh no, but the race IQ data says he jumps very, very, very well. Bang, wallops another fence. You're like, just not quite seeing this guy.
You may need to update your software there, lads.
Oh, give me a break.
But people hang their hats on it, Tom.
What's that?
People hang their hats on it.
But this is the thing. It was that easy. It's like the stride analysis, all this. That stride analysis got a couple of flat horses right at the start, right? And then, do you remember the Mark Johnson horse came out and won a maiden? They were like, "This is fucking Franklin Sea the Stars put together on a bit of fucking glue on a night out in fucking Cardiff." And it was shit.
We have Tom on a roll. Let's go.
I don't think it ever won a race afterwards. It was absolutely shit. And it just goes to show, like, if it was that easy, like all the trainers have access to this. This data is out there, right? And if it was that easy, you would just get them fit off data, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
but it's not. It's not that simple. They're animals. The one crucial little key information that people forget about. Oh, they are animals. So yeah, look, he just whacks one. But yeah, I can see what you mean. But then again, from Mark Walsh's point of view, he turns in. It's an awkward fence because it's just off a bend. But like, he's absolutely cantering. Like, so I can see why he doesn't. If he fucks him at it, then he's gonna get annihilated if he gets beat, isn't he? And it's all gonna be his fault. So, and now it's all his fault because he didn't jump very well.
But I would rather, and I've always said, I'd rather a jockey ride a horse into a fence instead of sending no signals, sitting there just hoping he's going to pop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can see his position. I think it's quite difficult because he can't really, unless the horse wins, it's his fault. That second last is his fault unless the horse wins. So if he decks him, if he throws him at it and he decks him, it's his fault. If he gets in close and makes a mistake, it's his fault. But look, the horse is very, very good. You'd wonder where. Like, what are they going to do? He's not going to win a champion chase, is he? Doing that. No. So yeah, it's tricky, really. Interesting to see what they do next year.
That's the thing. I think people will just assume, you go up and strip a stride slower in the rowing there. I don't think they're pace errors. Like, they're just him himself. Like,
their signals not going from the brain to the feet quick enough.
Yeah.
And what he just doesn't want to do at the moment. It just doesn't know what to do at the moment. Look, maybe maturity, maybe that'll come. But he's a hell of a horse.
It could be the next Big Bucks. You never know. Big Bucks had that same issue. Hugely talented, failed to get the single from his head to his feet multiple times.
He's a bit more class than Big Bucks.
Big Bucks just a big lazy bastard. Love them. Right, we'll move on to the Mayor's Hurdle, where we thought everything was coming back. We're all right, lads. Calm down. Lossie was going to hose up, and hose up she did. Tom, she won by 7.5 lengths in the end. There was never a moment's doubt if you were on her here.
Yeah, look, I'm never one to get too wound up about stuff. But I'm never. You wouldn't get wound up. No, I don't. Not on the podcast. Personally, between all of us, all of the time. But not on the podcast. But I normally try and keep a level head.
Just in case
From
any
any
future
route.
business crosses.
Well, look, call a spade a spade. We're a syndicate and we've got horses in a good few at the top yards, so it is difficult at times. But yeah, just I don't know. She'd have won the champion hurdle, wouldn't she? In the context of this race, in the context of this race, she was very, very good. She's miles better than them. She travelled, she jumped. Yeah, never a moment's worry. She went out to 1.93 at least on Betfair. I thought that was mental. So I took a little bit of that, but we'll get on.
Good man, Thomas. Good man.
They must finger the blue button.
Yeah, there was a good few buttons. The regret was a stupid double with Madgeborough. It was one of those I didn't even really fancy him. It was like, sure, he can't get beat, can he? So yeah, it's just stupid.
Look, it made sense though. In all reality, it didn't make sense. All he had to do was jump around, but he can't jump.
Jump around. He's fecking 1 to 2 shots. Stupid bet. But anyway, no, I thought she was an absolute God-given certainty, and she went through it like one. And yeah, we'll get onto the champion hurdle in a minute. But I've never doubted her class. I know a lot of people were before, but yeah, I think she's a hell of a mare. I just hope they go for it next year with her.
Going from one that never doubted her class to one that did doubt her class. Sean, you're surely on the right side of her right now.
Oh no, I was sold out on her. I was completely sold out in the lead up when them rumours came out, even sniffs about the mares. I just started punting the jocks off her. I was seriously all in on her. Now, she put me in a good position, in fairness, on day one, but they're just, when you get GSI'd into an odds-on shot, this is how you want them to run. Because I just thought going around this place, they set a pace out in front with Jade DeGrugy. She just sat on her tail. And when you know Paul is still trying to get cover after jumping the second last, you just know you're onto a winner. He took her out and sent her for home. Look, I see people's argument she should have been running the champion hurdle 100%. But I just say Richie probably isn't having the greatest years. And I say he just wanted a winner on the board at Cheltenham Festival. Had a couple of things go wrong. He hasn't probably got as many superstars as his budget would spend to hope to have. But he's had his grade 1 winner at Cheltenham. I don't think he gives a fuck if it's a champion hurdle or a mare's hurdle. He's had his winner. He stood in the winners and closures in the number 1 spot, and he got to have a celebration. I think ultimately, I'd say that's a decision that came down to. I know they talk about a piece of work, but I have a feeling he maybe just wanted the winner at the Cheltenham Festival, and you send her to the chance where she had her best chance of doing that, and no one can argue that was in the mare's hurdle. Now, I 100% agree for the sport. Probably should have went down the champion hurdle route, but she's just different gravy, and I don't know, maybe this might see changes to this race because she just walked home like a top graded mare, grade 1 mare here. Like, she easily could have competed in a champion hurdle, made mincemeat of this field.
Yeah. What do you think on both of you? What do you think on the whole stuff about scrapping the race or putting penalties in?
Yeah, like people rubbish it, Tom, but I think if these races weren't in, you possibly wouldn't have these mares around. I don't mean just this race, but I mean graded mares novice, like from graded mares bumpers to graded mares novice hurdles all the way up to open company graded races. I think there is a place for it to keep these good mares in, and I think if it was rubbish, you'd probably see horses' careers come to a maybe end after winning the bumper. Sure, you win a grade 1 bumper, what's the point in going over obstacles? So I think it should be there. I do understand about you're always going to have this dilemma of should they be in the champion hurdle or not, but I just think the program is there to get these mares. They now have them coming through. I think it'd be a silly move just to scrap it all.
I think you drop it to a grade 2, then you've had the grade 1 mares over that distance. They've no choice but to run the champion hurdle, and if they do end up wanting to win, if they've won a grade 1 already, you slap them with a £7 penalty, and that may stop them running in a grade 2 and having a crack at the grade 1. Look, it does have its place. Whether it has its place at the Cheltenham Festival is another thing. Is where can you move it around? Where would it say, look, we can argue till the cows come home what races should and shouldn't be at the Cheltenham Festival. Like the National Hunt Chase and stuff like that just have no place in a Cheltenham Festival, especially now that it's open to professional jockeys. Look, they're not going to rejig it. They're not going to move it down to 3 days. It's going to be 4 days the whole time. 2 mares races, mare chase even Does that have a place there? Probably not. As you saw with Only by Night running the Arkle, nearly paid off dividends for Gavin Cromwell. So I'd keep him to a grade 2. I'd drop that to a grade 2, keep the mares chase to a grade 2 as well. And if a proper grade 1 horse, if they're coming in after 12 months after winning a grade 1, they carry penalty, a £7 penalty. That's what I would do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's one of these double-edged sword kind of thing. Like if you add in penalties for winning grade 1s, then you're just not going to run your mare in another grade 1, you know. Or if you do, say you did run your mare in a grade 1 there in Punchestown and she won the grade 1, and you're saying, well, I'm probably lucky to win in Punchestown. Maybe I'm not going to win a champion hurdle. I've now got a £7 penalty or whatever it would be in the mare's hurdle at Cheltenham. You're probably not going to Cheltenham at all.
But then would you not do what Jeremy Scott done? He just took a chance, and look what happened to him. He took a chance with Golden Age. The much easier option for her.
He didn't even want to take a chance by the sound of that. Like, he didn't want to run. The jockey didn't want to run. The owner wanted to run. And look, you can't say take a chance, but we're in the day and age, and everything is going like this in life now. Everything is moving towards. We're in the day and age of the super yards. These yards, you look at. I read an article yesterday or this morning. I can't remember, about Gordon. In 52 runners, I think it was. 52 runners for the week. I'm sure Willie had something similar. I don't know the exact amount. Probably a couple more. Well, would have been way more actually, wouldn't it? How many did he have in the Triumph? 11 or something?
11 in the Triumph.
Yeah, it would have been way more.
So, we're in the day and age of super yards. Life is moving like that. Everything is compressing into like small companies or groups of people who control the power to things.
And Tom, I think what you say there about connections as well, like what Lassie out, like I think Paul's a big factor in Aga running the mares. Like I just
So the thing there with them is you've got Willie, you got the trainer is thinking that right, I've got State Man who I think is in really good form, and in fairness to him, he was proved right because he was going to go and win. Now, God knows what level Brighter Days Ahead ran to, and Conman decked himself. But he's also looking at that going, right, I've got State Man who's definitely going for the champion hurdle, and I think he's in really good form. I've then got to take on Brighter Days Ahead, and I've got to take on Constitution here. Or I can run Lossie in the mares and have an odds-on shot. So it suits him. Paul Townend is delighted because he hasn't got a choice.
Ultimate life.
He can ride an odds-on shot in the mares, and then he rides State Man in the champion hurdle. He's over the moon, right? And then you've got the owner who, as Sean said, probably hasn't had the greatest year or so, and is there going, do you know what, I just want a winner at Cheltenham. And he's also then, listening to the guys who are maybe saying, look, let's go the mares route. So you can see how it happens. And my point is, I don't know how we get around it happening, because there's fors and against, like penalties might discourage them running other places, might discourage them coming at all. You move it off the card. I don't think that's right. And then you've got people talking about like the Grand National and saying trainers should be limited to free horses, or even more ridiculous, I've heard owners should be limited to free horses. Well, great, there you go, Sean. I'm going to lease you a horse for the day. So you're going to run in your name. Or all of a sudden, like we see with all the bands, the trainer's wife has a license. Like there's no logical way around it. It's just where we are. You're not gonna legislate your way through it, I don't think. So
yeah, and like people have to remember as well, with the likes of Willie and Gordon, and that they've started from scraps. They started from nothing and they built themselves an empire. So should they be really punished for being really good at what they do? No, I don't think they should. But anyway, look, that's a story for another podcast. We'll be here for the home. Right, that is Tuesday. We are moving on to Wednesday.
Oh, I wouldn't skip the big one.
Oh, sorry, Jesus Christ! I have to
a little bit. We half covered the champion.
Sorry, let me head. Champion hurdle. I'm going back. In my eyes, this has to be the craziest champion hurdle in living memory. There was so much drama happening as Constitution Hill decked himself. brighter days ahead. To me, clearly just doesn't handle Cheltenham now, and I wouldn't be going near Cheltenham once again, ever again after this. Stateman was going to absolutely hose up. It's this version of Stateman that I have never seen in my life. The cheap piece has seemed to absolutely give him a new lease of life. Yeah, look, Sean, we start with you. Constitution Hill, we know you're his biggest fan. We talked about on the preview that this is something that is inevitably may happen the way he throws himself at hurdles, and we went through many different scenarios where it nearly happened. But Jesus Christ, he did his best impression of Pegasus and just could not get to the other side. He literally landed in the hurdle.
And Sean told us we were talking out of our arse, by the way.
Yeah, we were.
No. I didn't say out of our arse.
You did. You did. You said there's nothing to say that's going to happen, and
never fallen. It could happen.
No, the worst that he said as well.
No, you didn't.
If Constitution Hill and Brighter Days Ahead are going hammer and tongs this hurdle, the one that will fall is Brighter Days Ahead.
Yeah. I thought that might have been the case. But look, he didn't even like get land halfway up the hurdle. He was gone. Like, he had no chance of surviving that. Up until that point, I don't know. You would have been very happy out, I thought, if you're on him. But I would say I think Brighter Days were ahead of his fecht going past the stands the first time. I thought she was beaten from very, very early on. When King of Kingsfield got the lead and didn't start quickening up, Jack would have been absolutely howling at the jockey in front to start getting on, going past the stands. He nearly got, I think he got up to a Gert at one point, and he still didn't kick on. I thought the warning signs were out right from then. I know they came out after the race and said she was hurt. I'm not down the trainer, but if you're turning out an Aintree 3 weeks later, don't tell me the horse is hurt and they've done something wrong, and then you're going to spin them out 2.5 weeks later at Aintree. So I don't know if that was a bit of a protecting mechanism as well for our poor run. And perhaps, as you said, Andrew, she did run below par last season around there, and she's run a stinker this time around. So maybe it could be that she just doesn't handle Cheltenham. I know I was on her for the mirrors, and she wouldn't have won either. It wasn't like a pace of champion out of the car out. I thought she'd beaten from a couple of furlongs in. So maybe there is an issue there with Cheltenham. Stateman, look, he travelled around. I've always said he is a good horse and probably doesn't get the recognition he deserves, right? And I've watched this replay about 5 times. I've heard people's opinions that he would have won by 15 lengths, and I'd say absolutely no chance. 0 chance he was going to do that. And my second opinion is, if you watch Lorcan Williams, now I know he's riding from about 5-6 lengths back. He hasn't lifted the whip at all from the home end. And I'd say he's saying, right, I'm going to hold myself together and give a rattle coming up the hill. Stateman's stride shortens going into the last, and I think he takes a bit of a third fall. I won't lie to you. Because you see him revved up, he opens him up off the bend, and he comes down, and you can physically see the stride shortening, coming to the last, and he tips the top bar and tips over. I don't know if it was game over. I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and I can't convincingly tell you he was going to go away and win by 3 or 4 lengths. I think she would have came or a rattle. I don't know how close she would have got, but I don't know if he was home and hose for all money. And if he had to go home, you would have said, I think people still would have grabbed him, because they would have been like, oh, you've Golden Ace in behind and Bordeaux Road, so many lengths behind. It wasn't a good champion hurdle. So he probably got more recognition in coming down in the style that he did, because he was pulling clear. But I just don't know if that race was over or not. And obviously we're never going to know, but I think Golden Ace might have made a race of that.
I would be of the opinion that he would have won by 15 lengths.
Really?
I thought he was going to absolutely bolt up. I thought he would jump that, and he just would have went straight. That's to me, that's a version of Stateman I've never ever seen. He cruised around. He cruised into the lead. And if he jumped out, I'd say there was a lot more left under that tank.
Do you think it was a third fall? I just watch him and I see his stride shortening, and I think to myself,
I just think he just clipped the top and couldn't get the landing gear out. I'd say 99 times out of 100 he stays on his feet.
Yeah, that's what just made me think he was third.
But look, we'll never know. We will never know how far he would have won by. But in a million years, I never would have thought she would have gotten past him. How far she was away.
I agree. I think he'd have won. I don't think he'd have won by 15 lengths, but I think he definitely would have won anyway. And Sean, I'm with you there. And Gordon was saying in his interview, I remember I was watching it and thinking, why isn't he going faster here in front? Because they'd rattled on about how they wanted to go a mad gallop, and they've even put a pacemaker in, and then he's not going that fast. So Jack, as you say, if Jack wanted to be going faster, he'd have been roaring at him to go faster, but he wasn't going faster. So that was sending alarm bells. I don't know. Look, I said. My take on this on the preview was, if you're backing one of the first two in the market, you're guessing, and I think that was probably right. Like, you were guessing with Cheltenham with her, maybe she has had a small injury. I do wish trainers would elaborate a little bit on that when they're asked. Like, I don't really think it's they're not hiding.
He was sore. I think she was sore behind, and I think it happened when she banged into Bartlett Road.
Yeah, I couldn't be sure. She was well beaten by then, but
yeah, like I think that's where he's saying it might have come from. I'm not saying that's where it happened.
But anyway, yeah, look, you were taking a chance on her at Cheltenham, and you just couldn't, injury or no injury, you couldn't touch her at Cheltenham again until she's gone and proved herself there. And Conman, look, good to see him get up. The greatest of all time, still got as many champion hurdles as Rock on Ruby and the likes. So.
Good company.
Yeah, very good company. Yeah.
John, is he still the greatest? And when's he going to win his 4th champion hurdle?
Oh, ability wise, yeah, I absolutely stand all over that. But unfortunately, I don't know. He might end up with 1, maybe 2 if he goes back next season.
He doesn't hold a candle to Hurricane Fly. Anyway, that will get the comments going. Monetization and all that jazz. We're going to move on to Sunday. The Turners Novice Hurdle, Barry Bingham, Neptune, Ballymore, whatever you want to call it, whatever generation you're from. Lads, to me, this is probably one of the most impressive performances of the week. I was very sweet on Yellow Clear, but the new line, I went back and watched this a few times. He pulled so hard through that race, and then he picked up and he done a Constitution Hill-esque jump at the last and absolutely flung himself at it. And he was very lucky to get away with it. Jesus Christ, that was a very, very good performance. Sean, go back to you. What did you make the race overall, and how good do you actually think the new line is?
If you ask me what I want him or Cope, I think Kopek the board would be the better horse long term. But here he done nothing wrong, as you said. He absolutely tanked around, and yeah, he was probably within an inch of being on the deck at the last, as you touched on. But that's how the good hurdlers have to jump. They have to make lengths, and that's how they do it. He's come down to the last, and he's dug in well. I sort of wondered. Look, the ground, I think, played a massive part with Final Demand. He was able to quicken with them, but they found that extra gear that he just didn't have, and a step up and trip now is definitely on the cards for him. I'd say you'll see him 3 miles at Punchestown in that long distance novice race. But I think the front 2 pulled away nicely. I thought the Yellow Clay went well. I just look at the Yellow Clay and I say to myself, do you need to be beating him further to be really top level? I just don't know how to work out the Yellow Clay at the moment. I don't know if he's just maybe a good
I think he's a top class animal. I don't think he gets the recognition he deserved because he's around so long his bumper.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't probably give him the recognition, and that's the thing. I think it'll be a line to be interesting to see going forward. I don't know, just the proximity of the Yellow Clay worries me a little bit when you're looking forward to a champion hurdle. When you're talking champion hurdle level 170 horses, like I know he got a good rank at 159 for that. Like, he's still going to find 11 or 12 pounds to get up to that 170 mark. And I don't know what to make of him. I find it a bit tricky, to be honest with you.
Tom, what do you make of it all?
I thought it was a very good race. I think they're very, very good animals, and there's quality down below as well. 40 Coats, I actually ended up backing him 4 places.
Henry de Bromhead horse, no way.
Yeah. No, his form isn't that bad. I know he's been beaten a few times, but he ran at the start of the year then when Henry's weren't exactly flying in January. But his form behind James Skate Wingman was not bad at all. So he's a nice horse going forward. Don't rule out him. don't let the price of him put you off thinking it was a good race. Potter's Charm, that Capture Pike, Kiss Will, Kelleher Storm, like 6 Mile Bridge was beaten out the gap. Like Super Sunday the same, and K Doherty as well. Like I'm telling you, that is a hell of a good race. I think. I was all over Final Demand. Got my arse handed to me there punting. I got well stuck into him, yeah, I think the Yellow Clay is going to go on and be a nice horse. I think Final Demand's going to be a very, very nice horse. And the New Lion, he was a good bit better than them. So, yeah, I think that's going to turn out to be rock solid fun.
Can you see him competing in Champion Huddleham?
Potentially. Yeah, potentially.
I think he has the potential to do it. He has a lot of the right attributes. He travels really strongly. He picks up and he jumps very fast. He takes a lot of boxes. Anyway. Yeah. Well, it'll all depend on how good Constitution still is next year. Like State Man, Lossie will probably go. So it's not like it's going to be horses in the prime. Lossie probably the only one in the prime. Right. We are moving on to Brown Advisory, and the horse that identifies that Lawmore lost his race before he even got down to the start. This thing was nearly eating the sand on the chute down to the start. Like I can't remember what it was. Kate was sitting next to him. Like, this fella's beat already, and then he jumped off and he was worse. Like Sean, you're his biggest fan. Like Jesus Christ, he has to learn how to race. He won't see out 2.5 miles, let alone 3 miles if he keeps doing that.
Yeah, look, I said it on the preview. I don't like. It's clear now that fences haven't improved him at all, and I think they're a hindrance to him. But he was gone from the get go. Where like after jumping 2 or 3 down the inside, he was keen, he was lit up, and you just knew he wasn't going to find a jumping rhythm, and then he's made the howler.
Are you actually admitting now that he races keen?
What's that?
Are you finally admitting that he races keen?
Yeah, well, I thought he should have. I thought he should have went and taken the lead.
So no, he's not doing it, Tom.
No. But what I'm saying is, I think if you just let him go, I thought that was the best way to do it. I don't get why they covered him up so. Like he's never been in behind so many horses like that, like covered up and like just asked to go and pop, and he's not great at popping. So for me, I thought lining up down the inside was a no-go zone, and that's where he started off. And look, from there, the race just sort of went a bit haywire. He made that mistake, and he was gone from that point, in my opinion. I thought he done well to hang around and mix it about because his jumping went apart, and he finished up 8 lengths behind the winner. But the horses out in front, I was deeply disappointed with Dancing City. Thought I was going to get a good run for my money now, 3/4 the way around there. He's come down the hill and just went out like a light. I don't know if maybe something's come amiss about him, but I was deeply disappointed with him. And then Lecky wasn't winning. I couldn't have told you that in a month of Sundays. I couldn't have had Lecky Watson running that race. Stella Story ran a nice race. He's starting to put the jumping together, but boy, Jesus, if this is what's going for a Gold Cup next year, you might as well give it to the lads that were running it this year.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, look, no real surprise on Ballyburn. Just have not been a fan. Just have not been a fan of him, basically. Sorry, I was just reading a comment there. Yeah, look, Lecky Watson does my head in, this horse. Was all over him last year, each way for the Albert Bartlett. And he let me down big time. And then he's looked an okay-ish jumper. That's why I stayed away. And then he goes and wins well, but he's not a Gold Cup horse, is he? He's not going to get near them in the Gold Cup, and neither is Ballyburn. So, yeah.
Do you think they bring him back to Hurdle, Sam? I know he has to, but I don't. I can see him just persisting and saying, you know what, you're staying over fences.
They'll give him another go and they'll change tactics with him.
Yeah, I'd see that. Yeah, they give him another go and they change tactics.
The problem is, if you find a poor, like 2.5 mile, I don't know what Punchdown fields are going to be like, or maybe fairly out. In fact, if he goes and wins, he is probably going to stick it out over fences. Like, Jesus, if he's to rock up next year with a factor foil, like, holy mother of God, I wouldn't like to see that. You
can see him lining up at Fairy House and the Willow Warm or Powers, whatever it's called now. I think it's the Willow Warm, 2.5 mile. You could see him turning up there. If not, he could go to 3 mile or at Punchestown, and you'll know straight after that where he's going. But I would definitely like send him straight back over for next season. Right, yeah, but that's the situation. I'm saying as you, Sean. Like, he made a mistake. I think he was a 3 out, and he went
and I don't think it was that. Yeah, it wasn't that big of a mistake to cut out the way he did, and that's what made me wonder did he get struck in there or something like that. I wasn't too sure.
He was going really well at the time. Second he done that, it was 4 or 5 strides after it. He went from leading to
last
third. Right, champion chase time. John Bond, the Curse of Cheltenham Festival, follows him around wherever he goes. Marine National was left in the lead to win a champion chase. Look, for me, this is probably one of the right. Here's what I'll say. You were talking about lengths with Stateman, Sean.
Yeah.
If Clickshot stayed up, do you think he would have beaten him?
I was talking about this the other day. I thought it was getting to just about crunch time, where Marine National, I thought maybe raised his head a little bit, and Calixios was still there at the last, and I thought, oh, is he gonna go through? Now, of course, he's picked up after the last and did go away to win. So I don't know what Calixios would have had left in the tank, but the thought did come into my head: is he gonna go, boy? So that probably does make me think that it might have been a bit close.
I think he would have packed it in. I
was starting to think that because he sort of cruised up and then he got towards the last and he still didn't go by. And I was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen there now.
It would have been good to see, look, if he did, because he's been known to pack it in. Like,
yeah,
I still like if we're looking at terms of the quality of the race, like Calixios may have been a champion chase winner, like, and Marine was right next to him.
Yeah, no, it is nuts. And like, even from the get-go, you had an Ergamine that went out at a zillion miles an hour. Yeah. I don't know if Paul got a rush of blood in that moment, but I didn't get them tactics. You John Bond, whose tape went up and you were in trouble straight away. I think they said it hit his nose or something like that, but he just...
I was nowhere near his nose. He's miles off it.
Yeah, like an Ergamine probably went...
Just the starts of the Cheltenham Festival are fucking scandalous.
Yeah, there was some bonkers ones there, and then we could probably touch on that through it. But Energamine, I think, went out to beat John Bond by getting fast pace and put his jump into the test, and by doing that, I think he ended his own chances. And look, Marine National, you had to give him credit. It was I don't know what, there's something out there in anyways, because it was a magic 50 minutes of between him winning and Jazzy Matty winning that you can't write this stuff. Like, you really, really couldn't. I thought for the moment it was unbelievable to see him win. But I don't know what's up with John Bond. We all sort of had that feeling that he was going to throw it in, and he did again. He's put in a howler, a big jumping error, and something's gone wrong. So you can guarantee any doubts about it before, you'd be mad to take any short prices around John Bond at Cheltenham. I think that's proved it there. But Marine National's gone and won by 18 lengths. I don't know how close Calixios would have got, but it did come into my head going to the last. Oh, what's going to happen here?
Tom, what do you think? Would he still won if he stood up?
No, I think he was beat. I think I think it would have been close. You watch Marine National, he's kind of running around coming up the straight, but the gap stays there back to John Bond. Like, he wasn't getting, he was looking around, but I don't think he was getting slower. And I think he'd have won a length or so. I thought Sean gave him a cracking ride. Delighted to see him get a proper winner. He's been at this game a long time. I remember I was over in Wales and Sean had come over there, and he was scraping around for rides, and he came back to Ireland and he made a real go of it, and he's gone very, very well. So yeah, delighted to see him win. Obviously, the whole story with Michael O'Sullivan, just incredible. And then Jazzy Matty to go and do that then later in the day. But it was kind of one of those, you were cheering him on. Calixios on the outside, but you could kind of see him coming. And it was a race I didn't have much of an opinion in, and yeah, just delighted to see him win. John Bond, again, though, don't listen to people who tell you stuff when the form is there and your eyes can tell you something. He's unbeatable other places, just not in Cheltenham. So,
like, I've been adamant since the start of the season. It's not a coincidence his only defeats in his whole career have come at Cheltenham. It's not a coincidence. Like,
It can't be. It can't
No,
be. Like,
it's not.
really,
And
it just can't.
it's like same with Bright Days Ahead now. Her two heavy most notable defeats have come at Cheltenham. Back in the day, it was beef or salmon, unbeatable nearly in Ireland. But not on
Plutard is another one. I remember Henry saying about him that like he didn't jump right, he didn't hang anyway. He did, nothing was wrong. They just clocked with him, and he was just miles better going left-handed. And he was, but there was nothing in his training, nothing in the way he ran to say he was going to be better going left-handed. He just was better left-handed, and it's just like with John Bun, just doesn't, whatever it is.
Like there's a couple, like you could even argue up until this year, like Stateman was not as best you'd say around Cheltenham. Hurricane Floyd wasn't as great as around Cheltenham. Some of them didn't, but they still won. You know, like it's the good ones somehow just find a way to get the head in front.
Swat separates the really good horses from the greats. They can get it done anywhere. Yeah, look, next year will be interesting. It'll be a lot stronger next year. Likes of
Sergino comes back.
Sergino could win that half the track next year.
Yeah. You touch Woody comes back in one piece.
Sure, if you look at the Arkle, Jesus, what Chango Bay, Masra won't run in it. You've
Sergino. That's
Sergino.
I'll touch on it later, but I think there might be a horse that could come into this division.
Champion Chase.
Yeah,
fucking champion bumper or something.
The Ryanair.
Fact to fight.
I think he could. Big if. No one. I just watch him, and I think it's the next race we're going to cover. Anyways, it's the next grade one that we go into, isn't it?
Right. Go on. We go fact to fight.
Is that on an Odds Checker podcast or something? Where has that come from?
No, I've seen it being thrown around a bit, but I've gone and looked, and it makes a lot of sense to me, in my opinion. You have a horse here and now. Like, look, I had me doubts. I didn't take the short price about him. I thought he might have a bit of heartbreak after being beaten by Gallop the Champ a couple of times around Leopardstown. But boy, Jesus, you just let this lad roll and jump, and what he done around that place. It was performance of the week, in my opinion. I think it was unbelievable what he done. He's just let him bold, and he's let him take her up. And when LA Francais showed any cracks going down to the third last, Mark Walsh just said, right, I'm just going to beat you here and now. And the race was over coming into the home bend. And I just think with Factor Full, you just let him roll and jump, he's only going to get better. Where he'd a pace to aim at. Jungle Boogie went out with a good hard gallop. LA Francais took her off him. He had something to take him the whole way, and the race was over 5 furlongs out. He's waving at them. Mark Wells could have done whatever he wanted down the straight. He could have stopped and had a cup of tea and got back on him, and he still would have won by half the track. And he's still, like, he comes and jumps to last, and he's still showing signs of, like, plenty left in the tank. He's flicking his ears. He's looking at the crowd. He's running about, and he's won a Ryanair by 18 lengths. Like, absolutely thumping horses. And horses that sort of, they're not superstars, but you know what level they run to, and he's beating them half the track on the bridle. I just think, I seen JP mention it, they hemmed and hawed about going 2 miles at Leopardstown after getting beaten by Gallop the Shop at Christmas. I think you have an opportunity now, if you go into Punchestown, if I know the way I think and goes to the Punchestown Gold Cup, I think JP might want to split them. You have Allaho, who's won a Ryanair and gone back down to a champion chase at Punchestown. And I think if he goes to that Punchestown 2 mile race, he'd go off favourite against Marine National. He'd have a gallop to aim at. He'll jump. I think he has gears. He was second beaten by a Dream to Shear in a bumper. Like, he was a flat horse. He's definitely quick. I think he'd have no problem. He'd jump, and I'd say he could be dynamite over 2 miles. So I'd say if there is a potential curveball to go into that mix, I'd say Factor Full. If he runs at 2 miles that Punchestown, I think he'd be a phenomenal watch.
Yeah, you can see him taking a chance with a Punchestown, but coming champion chase time, I don't think there's a hope in hell they will go anywhere near.
If you think he went and beat Marine National, say 5-6 lengths at Punchestown, would you not think it might come in to the? It's basically to do with JP owning another way of thinking going to a Gold Cup.
I can see where you're going with that kind of thinking, because he will have 2 or 3 for the Ryanair. As I was looking through,
like Mashbury, you have potentially stepping up. You have a couple of horses there.
He's always been striky as a horse who could potentially turn himself into a Gold Cup horse. I don't. I think there's a big difference between going at a pace over 2.5 miles and there is going at a pace over 2 miles. Allo tried it, he couldn't get it done. I just
I know, but I don't think he has to go. My point is, I think
yeah,
he, if he has a good
I,
place
yeah,
to
it's
aim
probably
at.
the fact that it's not a vintage crop and it's not the biggest race in the world, hardest race in the world. You
And
could get
JP
Marine
has never won
National
it.
you could get Marine National in trouble a long way out if you ask. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with it.
And it's one of the races that JP hasn't won, and he can guarantee he's trying to do it with the types of horses he's buying.
Yeah.
I just thought he's a potential curveball and we come into the mix.
After what I seen a week ago, nothing would fucking shock me.
Yeah.
What do you make from Tom?
A bit like watching Lossie come up the hill, just in two minds really. I love this horse so much, and I've been wanting him to be ridden like this all year. And when he took it up 3 out, I said, "Would you fuck off?" With my exact word to the telly.
Do you know why, Tom? Did you see the replay of JP McManus with his binoculars on, having a little jump every time he jumped the fence? The application of cash means you take.
The cash money was down. It's like
that means you fucking take it up 3 out. That's what that means.
I have a feeling anytime Mark Watts goes out now, I have a funny feeling he's a little earpiece in there now, getting the instructions going around.
Yeah, it's just he breaks horses. The reason he went and won that and won it so well was because they jumped 4 out. Ile Francais kind of made a mistake. You can see the guys in behind going, right, we're going to fill up now. He's going to come back to us. And Mark Walsh has kicked and gone up his inside, basically. And then got to 3 out, got a good jump on the outside, I think he was then. And he's gone, instead of sitting and taking a pull and they're all filling him up, he's kicked on. And he's kicked on and he's stayed on. And that stage, that little bit of the race there is where he wins his races, because horses can't. That's where they're all trying to fill up. And he just goes. He just breaks them. I'd love to see what he'd do over 3 miles. I'd love to see it. I just wish, like, he sat there. Jungle Boogie went 1,000,000 miles an hour. I didn't see that coming. And then when he'd had enough, Ile Francais said, right, come on, I'll take it up. And then when he was crying enough and they were about to get a breather, Fact of File just booted on. I like all of this season, like the 2 races at Leopardstown, could not once have he just sat behind Galloping and said, when they got to the last one down the back, said, right, do you know what? I might win, I might get beaten 100 lengths, I might pull up here, but I'm going past you. And if you're going to come with me, fine. But if you're not, I'm going past you. I would love to have seen it happen. Again, comes back to what we were saying earlier. We're in the era of super yards and stuff like that. It does make things a bit difficult. But I think he's a Ryanair horse now. I don't know if you're going to get... Again, this comes down to battle now, doesn't it? So JP's got a horse that's absolutely bolted up in the Gold Cup, right? And we'll get to that in a minute. But he's absolutely bolted up and he's young, right? And then you've got a horse who's absolutely annihilated the field with a proper ride, and they know how to ride him in the Ryanair. But then your other factor is you've got Willie, whose Gold Cup horse has just been beat. Ballyburn has been beat in the Brown Advisory. What's Willie got for the Gold Cup next year?
Fact of File.
So then you're coming down to Willie wanting that. Mark Walsh is going to tell him no way in the world. He's definitely a Ryanair horse.
Oh, he was stopping at the top of the hill.
Exactly. He can ride both of them. And JP's got one in each race. So it's going to come down to a battle of
I know what way that comes.
A battle of chess. Who's going to play chess the best?
I know who'll make that final call, and it's a certain man with green and gold colours.
But no, look, the horse is an airplane. I really, really love him. I think he's an absolute freak. I'd love to see him get the chance to do it over 3 miles. We're in a Gold Cup trip
too, Tom. 35 miles an hour, just rocking along and just jumping and pinging and going.
I think it would. I think that turn of gear and stuff would nearly be run out of him, because they go 1,000,000 and he would almost have to come late. He couldn't sit there and kick when they're about to take a breather. I don't know, lads. If he could do that in the Gold Cup and keep going, I don't see why he wouldn't keep going.
Like,
he could end up one of the most impressive Gold Cup winners because he would just annihilate.
It'd probably be one and bust, but you'd probably never get it again.
Like I think it's evident now that they obviously know how to ride him now, and it will come in the Savas at Christmas time, the Irish Gold Cup, and then it could be a Demon-esque performance from the front. If he can do that over to, like, I wasn't his biggest fan, but Jesus Christ, I'm firmly in the side of his camp now. That was breathtaking. I love when horses win races like that. You said, Tom, where he won the races, where they kicked on with the rest were trying to get a breather, and he just kept going and going and going. It was very much tHOW-esque. He just got them all out of the comfort zone so far out when they just couldn't peg it back. Speaking of legends of racing, Tom Rain, fucking well done, sir. Well done. Fucking King Bob. Oh, I backed him. I always back Bob. I don't care. And I screamed the place down. And I was more money lying on tHOW. I had him in a few doubles and what. Oh, Jesus Christ. Big hanging bastard. When Rachel came there, his head cocking like that. Oh, fuck. This fucker's going to stay.
Yeah, I just don't like any of that field. And his Cheltenham record is now 4 from 4 at the track. He was getting the ground to help him stay. But horses for courses, lads. We say if you're going to say it about John Bon, you have to look at it on the flip side, and it's true about Bob. He absolutely loves the place. And he got there, and I just said, he is going to go past, isn't he? He is going to go past. And I'd laid tHOW as well. So I was like, this is literally shit or bust now. I'm on Bob at like 25s, and I've laid tHOW, and I'm like, what's going to happen here? But
please run faster, please run faster, please run faster.
I just want to say, I mean, look, it's an easy enough decision when you've got a favourite, and Bob got punted off the boards. What price did he got?
He went off
8-1. Fuck's sake! I was in a few tipping competitions that I put him in, and I was there going, if this thing wins now 25s, I've won. Like, end story. And there he is, 8-1. He goes off. But fair play to Rob Core for it's easy enough when you've got a favourite and an outsider. But they still had to run both against each other. They could have gone to Aintree with Bob, which would have been a bad decision. But yeah, absolutely delighted with him. And I'm just so glad. Sean, if you could see it, Andrew and Dave were stood in front of me in the gym, and they were by the door, and I looked up at them, and I said, I've got one for the stayers. And they named a couple of horses, and I said, no. I said, Bob. And the two of them, they didn't even worry.
I walked away in disgust.
Sean, they didn't even say, if that horse wins, I am done with racing. I'm never having a bet anywhere ever again. They didn't even say that. The two of them just said, he's not running. He's going to Aintree. And I swear to God, thank God I did a bit of research before the show and realised he was running. But no, fair play to Henry and fair play to Rachel. Rachel's got a few knocks this year, but she gave that an absolute peach. I thought she gave it an excellent ride. She just sat and waited. Everyone else wanted to go on with it. She sat and sat and sat. I thought it was a superb ride from her.
She's key to him winning. She knows him inside out.
Yeah, she knows him inside out. Yeah. I thought she was very, very good on him.
So Sean, you've been waiting for this moment. Your last bet ever. How is what word would you? How is your? What's the word looking for, Tom?
Bank balance is up anyway. He's not gambling anymore.
Yeah, look, Thursday was a howler in my book, and this just fucking topped it off. This was honest to God, right? Just the race itself, you've got a road that goes to go out at a clip, and I'm like, lovely, absolutely lovely. Sam Twist Davis cannons down over the first two, and then just goes handbrake up and just stops. And I'm like, oh, this isn't what the tHOW was like. And good ground, they've steadied this up, it's got to turn into a sprint. And then you jump to second last, and you just see Rachel cutting the field in half. And I'm like, no, I can't. The tHOW travels up, and then fucking Bob is in the slipstream on the Bladen Houdini, swinging. Absolutely.
Trying to bite the ears
His,
off the
his,
Uber.
his head is cocked. He's traveling, and I'm like, no. The whole way down to the last, I'm still holding hope. I'm like, he's just going to fold like a bus. He's just going to fold and fold. And no, Bob runs up the hill and stays 3 miles. And do you know what? I tip me hat, because I never in a million years could have seen that horse stay 3 miles in a horse box, and he's absolutely scooted up the hill. So do you know what? I tip me hat and fair play to them. They've ran 2 horses this year. They didn't run Irish Point against the Hubio last year, and look, they've done it this year, and they've got a 1-2, and that's the worst thing that can happen. Imagine you have a 1-2 on a stairs hurdle. But yeah, look, I couldn't have seen this coming, and fair play, Tom. Tom was very strong, and Cheltenham form probably does stand up. But the Hubio over 3 miles, that was the curveball at the Cheltenham Festival for me.
Tom, when's the next Pimlico day out on Henry's? I want to go out and give him a cuddle.
We'll have one soon, but yeah, hopefully before he's gone out the field. But yeah, I wouldn't mind giving him a little pat. I'll tell you that much.
Hey, speaking of Pimlico days, you had a winner on this day.
A winner?
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you had a winner on the Thursday.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Tom. Sandrum or Sandrum?
Oh, start it. Yes. So I had Mia Coda.
It's a good PR work, Tom. Well done. I fucking set it up for you, and you made a pause of it.
No, Andrew, you'd be proud of this, because I'm going to double down now, because I was just thinking of Mia Coda, because he won the other day as well. There you go.
Played. Oh, good save. Good save.
Like that. Yeah, Stardom won. Yeah. All the lads texted me, would you back him? I couldn't trust him at 2-1. That's there he goes.
We all lumped on it.
Ears pricked, wins about 10 lengths. Yeah, he's a nice horse. He's running at a lowly level, but he's literally only getting the hang of things, learning on the job. So yeah, really, really nice to see him win. We've got a good team for the summer now. I think we've got some nice ones. Distinguished Dragon, I'm really, really looking forward to her. So.
I can't wait for the Tramore Festival where you have 6 runners.
Yeah. Nah, avoid it like plague. I've got to have something on there. Why run Chutzpal there this year?
Right. Oh, Jesus, don't get... Oh, no, we're not going down that avenue now. Right, Friday, final day. When this happened, I just should have stood up and Alfie's finished me pint of Guinness and went home. Connor Ross. 101.
Can I go here? Because the fucking... Do you know the worst thing about this, right? So I took Friday afternoon off, went down to the pub with the lads, right? Sit down, stick this on. We're all cheering on East India, Doc. No James Owen a little bit. So it was like, God, James is going to get a Cheltenham winner. Here we go. And then this fucking 100-1 shot comes out of nowhere. The lad next to me starts screaming. And I'm like...
He nearly got glass.
I look at the TV, 100-1. He's like, 100-1. I was like, you're joking. I said, you just need to stand up and leave, go home. That's you done, Pat.
Explain it, Tom. Explain his reason. Oh, Jesus. Explain his reason why he backed it.
Tony Bloom has to get a Cheltenham Festival.
There you go. That was his reason, to be honest. And that was the part. Fuck me.
Fair play.
Do we have to talk about
Well, look, I think it was bonkers. We were having a laugh, like, about spending money and probably throwing about 3 or 4 million worth of stock at a race for the crack. But yeah, look, this, like, and when it comes to Triumph Hurdles, I think Willie just sees this as it's nothing to lose. You win a grade 1. If not, we go novice hurdling next season. And I'm laughing, like, he's talking about the winner, and he says, yeah, we just pulled him in out of the field 6 weeks ago, and he was going well enough at home, so we run him. And he just goes and wins a grade 1. So that just tells you all you need to know about.
He probably had to ask him what the hell his name was before they pulled him up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say he did have to ask what the name was. But look, at race as a whole, I thought... I think he got the tactics a bit wrong with East India Doc. I thought the front runner didn't really do his job. He sort of went out to set a good pace. He went off like a scalded cat, and he fell away way too early. I don't know if they would have been just better than letting East India Doc bowl along as he has in the past. But Lulambo was the horse for me that you take out of this. like, I know the favourite. Look, you should always want to take on the favourite now because he's 100-to-1 shot winning. You probably won't give him enough credit as he deserves, but it was his first time over hurdles and he's won the Triumph hurdle, so you probably do need to give him a bit. But I just feel like Lalamba's the horse to take over. He's made a mistake at the second last. He's got himself back in the mix, and I think he beats in the East India Dock with a bit more than the margin. And I have a funny feeling if he had been on the other side with Poneros attacking from the blind side on the other side of the East India Dock, I think if he had been beside him, he might have pulled out a little bit more. I don't know if he would have won or not, but I feel like he had a bit left in the tank, and I think he's a horse that you'll see plenty more coming from going forward. I definitely think Lalamba's the horse for going into next season that you want to have out of this race.
Yeah, look, Tom, I don't think it's going to be as a vintage crop as it was last season because there was a blanket covering the top 6 practically. But is there any to take out of a bar the 100-to-1 shot?
Yeah, look, I think Lalamba would probably look the one, like Sean said. I thought East India Dock ran very well. I think they went plenty quick here. I think they went very quick. But I think it was. I know the blanket covered them, but I think it was a good enough race. Lady Vega Allen's been consistent all year. She finished 4th. Hello Neighbor was 6th. It's going to be interesting to see. Like, is the winner going to go on, or what's going to happen? Like, it's a bit tricky now. What does he do next year? But yeah, it's a mad old race, that, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So we move on to the Albert Bartlett, second last before we go on to the Gold Cup. I thought my week was just at the turn upside down on its head, and I was back to where Cheltenham should have bringing me. Jasmine DeVoe backed him anti-post, put him up on I can't remember the watch along, and he done what I thought he would do. I thought step up and trip would do him all the good in the world. The setup of the new course at Cheltenham with the gaps between the second last and last. To me, he was the class horse in the race, and I thought he won really well. I thought Paul gave him a good ride. Dara probably cost a few lengths with Big Westerner going up the inside. But Tom, overall, what did you make of the race? I think the top 3 in the betting, or the top 3 finishers, are very good horses going forward. I think this might be a good Albert Bartlett.
Yeah, I'd say so. In fairness to Jasmine DeVoe, put it all together. Jumping at the start of the season wasn't very good at all, but went well enough here. And Paul came the wide route, like down this rail all the way up the straight, and ultimately won well. Look, what I'll say in a second is I'd say Dara would probably love it back, wouldn't he? I'd say he'd love another go at that one, but that's racing, that's Cheltenham. You don't get another go. You make a decision and you go with it, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But I think she's going to be a cracking mare. She's absolutely huge. Can't wait to see her over a fence. So, yeah, I think she's going to be very good.
Think they'll aim her at the Gold Cup in the 2 years?
No, they'll go novice tracing next year, won't they? But they're going to get the mare's allowance and stuff. But I don't think she's far off. I mean, she showed it there. She's not far off the best ones. So I think she'll be very interested in going chasing.
Sean?
Training performance of the week, I'd say. How on earth they've got this horse to put it all together, I will never ever know. From what we've seen throughout the season, of his first time out to a second time out, to run around the DRF with cheek pieces on and cutting out, and then all of a sudden taking the cheek pieces off, and he just improves an absolute mountain for jumping. Paul just rode him. I don't know if it's a bit of the pressure was sort of off, and he knew that he was going to pop along out the back, and if he arrived, he arrived. If he didn't, he didn't, and he came tanking. And as you're seeing, Paul up that the near side rail, all that day he done it on Cargis, he done it on him, and I think he done it on someone else as well, didn't he? He had another one on the day, but I just think he come to that far side rail and he's just hosed up. He stayed on very well. Look, I don't think they'll sort that jumping out, going over fences. He could be one maybe that you throw into a stairs hurdle in the mix. It's taken long enough to get into the hurdle and right. I don't know if they'd be going over fences in a rush. So he could be one for next season stairs hurdle, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think next year, if they go novice chasing next year, it's just a recipe for disaster. If his jumping hurdles have anything to do, resonate with what he will do over a fence, I think stairs is written all over him. It's going to be a weak enough race as it mostly is the last few years, and I think it's just crying out for someone like him. 2 from 2 at the track, Cassie enough horse. I think there would be worse shouts in the world. Right,
I think you're right there, Andrew. I'd love to know what price he is actually, because that's it's an obvious race for him to go to, isn't it?
It's 14 to 1.
That's a stonking bet. Yeah, that's a really, really good bet.
Not that I have backed him already, but anyway. Whoops. I've backed 2 for next year, but we get on to that in a minute. He's one of them, and then there's another kind of left field one. Probably a bad show, but anyway. Cheltenham World Cup. I stared into the abyss for a few minutes after this. Had very, very little money on it. I was just gutted that he couldn't win. I know where you're thinking. Impressive Gold Cup winner, beating Galopin Champ, who for me was struggling very early on in the race, whether it was the ground or something else, I don't know. He didn't look happy on the ground, and Paul seemed to be squeezing him a lot from a long way out. But look, no getting away from the winner, Tom. I know the way you're thinking. You backed him on the day. You had a good feeling about him, and it was a very impressive performance.
Yeah, look, he was. I think, in fairness to the winner, we should start with him. He was extremely, extremely good. He's been getting educational rides this year, stepping out of novice company for the first time. You can see they've kind of looked after him. He looked like an absolute certainty for the Grand National even before this. He's obviously not running now, but he ran very well at Leopardstown. I'm so glad they gave it a roll of the dice, because it was crying out for a horse to go and run a good race here. And he's gone and done it. He's absolutely bolted up. Mark got into a bit of trouble on him, and he had the class to get him through that gap with Cubs crossing his outside, and then he's just sprinted away up the hill to win a Gold Cup by 6 lengths. So it was run very fast by 6 seconds on standard. It was a hell of a performance, and you look at him. He's fairly lightly raced. He's only 7. He's only going to be 8 next year. Like, there's no reason he won't just carry on and keep on improving. That's his second win now at Cheltenham. I think he went off 13 to 8 off 145 last year. Crazy, isn't it? You should know really if he goes off 13 to 8 a handicap. But
I'd actually love if anyone could ever pull up how much JP had on that, because I would love.
It was probably not fucking wide enough for the zeros.
I genuinely would love to see that.
On Galopin though, Andrew, I was looking at something on my phone, and you were next to me watching this, and you said to me, he's not coming a yard, and I looked up, and it was after the second, I think, and they zoomed in, and the reins were floppy. He was way further back than he would have wanted to be, and he was 1.7 on Betfair. So my finger was banging the button for a few minutes. I just couldn't believe he was that priced the way he was traveling. Backed. I know the way you're thinking. Non-runner, no bet. So enjoyed that. And then I had a little moment, Sean. These guys are obviously massive Galopin fans. He's turned in. He's going well enough.
He's started taking bets off everyone.
And they're giving it socks. And then I'm looking at my lad, and I'm like, hello, here we go. And I'm cheering him on, Sean, right? And I could tell the lads had stopped cheering, and I was like giving it some. And I don't know if it's never happened to me before. I've had a moment where I've realised I'm the only one, and I'm genuinely, the pub's packed, and I'm the only one, and I'm stood up giving it large, and I'm like, oh my god! And I've just backed a Gold Cup winner at 10 to 1. I've just laid the thing that's finished second at 1.73.
Terrified.
And halfway up the straight, I've just sat down and gone, sorry, lads. Oh, they were devastated.
The conversations after that
Yeah.
race. I was
Left.
fucking listening to people.
You couldn't talk to them. And then when they calmed down after a few minutes, I just showed them my Betfair account, and that just set them off again.
Yeah.
I went in for a cuddle at one stage, Tom.
Yeah, I was the same Tom as you. After jumping to the fact that how he started to how he didn't make up the ground to get to them, and he jumped 2 fences, and he think he'd skied the second, and I said to myself, "Oh, you're in big trouble." And Tom touched on it. He zoomed into him as he went past. The rain was not tight, and he started to go down the back. He made a mess of the water jump, if I'm not wrong. He absolutely ballooned that, and you just knew today wasn't going to be the day. He sort of latched on it a little bit. I think there was a fall. I'm not sure who made it. Someone came down, probably 5 out, maybe 6 out, and another way of thinking also made a mess of that fence, and he picked up as well. Gallopin sort of got taken about 5 or 6 wide, but he sort of latched on for a second. You think to yourself, oh, maybe is he just going to get himself out of trouble and he's just too good. But I just say there was a massive walk in the market before this. I don't know, maybe people just took a stance that he wasn't going to win 3 Gold Cups, but he was a heavy drifter on the exchanges late going towards the race. And I just wondered did the inkling about ground get out there, that perhaps I seen Willie talk after that horses who don't like the ground tend to balloon fences, and that's exactly
I don't think he enjoyed a second of that ground.
Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed it at all. He just didn't want to come back down on it. Now, look, kudos to him. He's gone out on a sword. He's battled all the way, and he's got beaten 6 lengths. I know he's being beaten well, but I thought for something that's just gone wrong the whole way around and wasn't happy, fair play to him. He showed his testament. He dug in and he got second. But the winner was very good. As I said, he touched on. He made 1 or 2 mistakes and still bolted up like that. So he's only going to be there for next season as well.
I just can't wait for the comeback.
Yeah, I don't think he's done. And then see, the thing is, he's gonna get beaten around.
But Tom, don't just leave me have this fucking moment of clarity, will you? Just leave me sit on it for a few months.
Not a chance.
Leopardstown DRF, you get your day.
Oh, I have to wang it. DRF. You'll have soft brown back at Leopardstown, be all right.
I'll have a Sean moment. There is no way in the world that horse wins the Gold Cup next year.
Me. Right, we'll finish on any other topics at Cheltenham you want to touch on. Performances, your biggest winners. No, Tom, fuck you. You're not getting any more biggest winners. I totally forgot about what you've done now when Gallopin lost. It's been back by memories like PDS.
Lads, I'd say if anyone ever had a video of me last race of the festival, right, going in a nice position, and I've had the stones on one from months out. I backed this Woodoo 25-1, right? Anyone that's asked me the last 3 months, if you got a horse, I've just said this Woodoo. So anything on the Friday, lads text me, it was all about Woodoo. And Jesus Christ, I would have made a show of myself if anyone could have recorded me. That horse going down, swings in, takes it up. It's on the dicky going to the last, and I'm saying to myself, this can only go wrong from here. But just on her, I think she's a horse that's been underrated massively. I just had a look there. She's 7 from 7 over hurdles. She's unbeaten. She's got a mark of 151 now, and she's pissed up in that Martin pipe. Like, she's won by 4.5 lengths. I think it could have been further. I potentially think she could be a graded mare, and maybe one that you're looking at next season's mare's hurdle if Lossiemouth doesn't go, because I think she's well up in the mix with the likes of Take No Chances that came to her in the mare's hurdle this year, Jade de Gruzzi's, Calacontes, July Flowers, all them. I'd say she'd be well entitled to mix her all them. A horse that's 7 from 7, unbeaten, up to a mark of 151. She's only a 5-year-old as well. I think she's definitely a horse you need to be taking going into the future. Could be that Punchestown Grade 1 if Lossiemouth doesn't rock up, or if she goes for the champion hurdle that day, that she might run in that. But I just think she's a horse. She's won the Martin Pipe, and I think she's definitely a graded animal in my book.
She's one I got wrong, and I underestimated her. But she's a Grade 1 mare, 100%. To do that off that mark in that race, she's a Grade 1 mare, and when Lossie goes for the champion hurdle next year, I think she'll be one of the mares.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree in the slightest. Well, another one that I thought now was a Grade 1 winner waiting to happen is that Jaguar. I think this thing is a fucking beast.
Back second. I got stuck into the second. And I was like, Like, what fucking chance have you got? Like, Gavin's horse is about stone well in as well. Like,
Yeah.
punted off the boards, and then Jaguar goes and absolutely annihilates you.
Like, he wasn't. The ears prick coming to last. Fuck, how much do he have left in that tank? He's the other horse I've backed for next year. I've backed in the 33s for the Ryanair. I just think with the likes with that Fact the Foil will go Gold Cup. Then you're left with the likes of Bambridge, Grade On, he'll go Gold Cup. Malsburg has to learn how to jump. You're into Protector Rats, Ballyburns, and all horses at that kind of caliber. And he's the one that's going on an upward trajectory very, very swiftly. And I think that is the ideal trip for him. Especially if Fact 5 runs, obviously going to be near on a possible beat, but this fella smacks at the Grade 1 horse. He's very, very good.
Yeah, there's another race that I watched back as well, lads. I don't know if you watch it back. That Coral Cup, I don't know how the fuck Jimmy Desai won that race.
Go on, Jimmy.
I genuinely, I've probably watched it 3 times now, and I just can't believe he's traveling. He's keen. He's jumping hurdles like houses. He's knocking them down. I don't know how he's managed to arrive at the last. And I just think the front two on that race, like you watch Impulse tHOW, he is on the dicky coming down the hill, and I'm saying to myself, oh, I have a right chance here. And this Jimmy Desai just picks him up like he's standing still. I just think it's a race that's worth looking back. I think them top two. Jimmy Desai wouldn't have been a horse that was shouting out to me, and I know he finished miles behind Ballybourne in the Ballymore last year, but for how much he done wrong in that race, he must have been fecked in. He must have had 10, 15 pounds in hand. The way he raced, Keane didn't jump, didn't do anything right in my opinion, and it's still pissed up in the Coral Cup. Like, it's not easy doing that. So I think that Coral Cup, the first and second, and that would probably need serious looking at going forward.
He's only gone up 7 first.
Yeah, like I don't know how he's won. I watch it back now and he's the winner, and I'm like, how have you won this?
One who I'm looking at is like, how the fuck didn't you win this Vanillier? Oh my god, that broke my heart.
yeah.
I never beat Stumptown though.
Well, stop, will you? No, he wouldn't have, but still, Jesus. I tell you, he's back.
It's not good when a pilot doesn't know his route, is it?
Oh, stop the life.
It's not a good sign that. Yeah, we're flying to England today, Sean.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
are we going to America?
Where the fuck
we're going that way.
Birmingham via Scotland.
You're going in for a pint. Like, he's one that is very interesting now for me for the Grand National. He's back on the same mark he was second, but like arguably he's in much better form than he was going into it that year. Front running, blinkers, out of trouble, off you go. Can't get fucking lost around A3.
Yeah, no, it was madness. It was fake.
Talking to Aintree, how far does Iroko win the Grand National?
He doesn't.
I kept looking back at this. I think it's...
You win 10 laps.
Do you think so?
But if it's on good ground, maybe not. Maybe 5.
Jesus Christ, I've never heard you so jiggy about this horse.
Look, Tom gets jiggy about the National. What was the one you got so stuck into? It wasn't even funny. Lemilos. This team couldn't be beat.
I was at it that year. I mean, I can't say. Oh, that was close. I nearly ruined.
You nearly fucked up something there, Thomas. Oh my god!
I nearly ruined a whole stag party there. We're going on a stag next week, and the stag maybe doesn't watch this, and he doesn't know where we're going. And I nearly said where we're going.
If he's not fucking tick, he can put 1 and 1 together now. Fuck me.
So Iroko wins the national by 10 lengths, Tom.
I think he'll win. I think he's absolutely laid out for it.
Oh, it's clear as day he's been laid out for it. Like Percival Legal was another one who just after switching it on all of a sudden. To me, I think he's still well in. I think he's one that could run a massive race.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
We are doing Aintree preview next week. Oh, 1 second. Liam has now, Sean. Here's one for the flat now. Well, who is up 71?
Yeah, like I don't know what you do, but like he could.
What's the Ascot one? The one Willie always wins.
Surely she wouldn't be getting in off a mark of 71, was she?
What's the cap on that?
The Alexander. Is it the 2 mile 5 race on the last?
Let's
Yeah,
fuck
on
this
the-
flash shit. Just put her out to a field and come back next year. Come back for the jumps. Fuck the flash.
You just run her to Curra and you win by about 6 or 7 lengths. You get yourself up and up to get into that race.
Lovely little note to 75 around Dundalk now or something.
Guys, we're gone from the Curra to Dundalk. Anyway, I think that's time to stop. Right, we are back next week. Wednesday. Everyone all right for Wednesday?
Yeah.
We're having the team
No.
meeting. No.
I'm
You're
on
away.
my way to that stag.
Oh, Tom is away. Dave will be back. Sean will be back. I'll be back for a grand national preview. Thanks again for watching. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Keep the comments going. Let us know your biggest winner, biggest loser, and who you think is the best horse to take out the Cheltenham Festival. And we will talk to you next week for our Ancient Grand National Preview.